disconnected for a second. Thanks, OBS. I'm gonna blame my roommates. That seems like the correct thing to do here. Right, there's some sort of fish boss. Weird. It's almost like I excised these parts from my memory for a reason. I did it. What are you talking about? It's Sonic? Okay, we gotta swim into this cave that's definitely not shaped like any human anatomy. You know, what if I mix it up? What if I played Ninja Gaiden first and then played Sonic? Huh? Look, it's this area. An amulet of benediction. Thank you, Masamune. You know what? Let's do it. At some point, we'll get that. I think there's an ambush fight up here. Not sure it will work. Are you telling me? My plan is flawed. That if I play the good game first and then the less good game, it might... Well, I mean... Persona 5 Strikers or Mega Man 6. The two video games. When someone says, when someone introduces themselves, you say, Muso Gusto, instead of Mucho Gusto. Good. Got it? Yeah. Alright, I'm going to guess this is not where I need to go. Okay, I think I probably just have to go down, right? I mean, yeah, that's fine. If I was going to play a Mega Man game in the year of our Lord, current year, took me a second, 2023. Golden Scarab. I think I've missed a couple. So I will not be getting the Beam Saber. But, you know. I got the Breathing MacGuffin. I got an air tank. So, I can breathe forever now. This extended underwater sequence that is definitely not super boring. No, it's not a mystical relic, it's an air tank. Oh shit. I know what part this is.
The failed protector of the Dark Dragon.
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Must I take your life yet again?
Never. Never abandon the way of the ninja. Nah, this is not a Virgil situation. This is I cheese the fuck out of this guy situation. If I remember correctly. Yeah, that's the way of the ninja, motherfucker.
It is in the hands of the Holy Vigor Emperor, your true master. You see, young Ryu, you are not so different from us. Those of the dragon lineage like yourself draw their blood from the same ancient deities as the fiends. You, most of all, should know that your true place is at the Emperor's side. My hatred will not be so easily defeated. I will bring about the awakening.
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Pitiful woman. Your sister must be quite precious to you.
Fiendish awakening.
I mean, listen, DOA. You know, DOA. They got their preferences, right? Anyway, now you get his sword. Now you get Doku's sword. What are you talking about? Did you see that expert play of me just taking advantage of the ultimate technique? That's video game. Oh, fuck you, video game. Really gonna make me play as Rachel? The fun police are here. They want the video game back. Yeah, Tomonobu Itagaki does not believe in butts. There's only one thing he believes in. Two things, actually. Am I right, homies? Ha ha ha. Yeah. Oh. Okay, that is a terrible take. But you're allowed to feel that way. I think Tales of games would be fun if they didn't require any skill. And I could just press button. No! I've never played Tales of Fantasia. I've never played any of those 2D ones. Symphonia is still the furthest I've gone back. I do have Legendia. Video game said, "Oh, you're having too much fun. It's time to have a bad time." I think we got Destiny in the States, but not Destiny 2. I think that's how that worked. strat. Oh, I don't even need to do this. Fuck that. It doesn't really seem like they look back that much. At least... because they've never bothered localizing any of the old 2D Tales games. Except the ones which already came out. Because, yeah, the game that came out as Destiny 2 in the West, I believe is Tales of Eternia? Symphonia is not the best one. Symphonia is the one that Nintendo fans latched onto because it was a GameCube exclusive in the West. Like, I think that series got a lot better. Let's say... I'm gonna say, maybe Xillia is probably the oldest one, or Graces. Graces F are probably the two that I'd be like, yeah, that's as far as I'd go back. I don't wanna go back to Tales of...
Hello.
Hello, it's me, Ninja Guy Dan.
Hi, are you streaming something? Because
I
it did
am.
not show up in the Discord notification.
It dropped. I briefly dropped connection on OBS, so that's probably why.
Oh well.
Okay, I guess I just go over here now. Anyway, I'm playing as Rachel, so you know I'm having fun.
Yeah. All that work put into those physics, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Lionheart. I'm just saying that, like, if you go back to Symphonia and Vesperia now, it's a game that definitely is like, oh, you're gonna spend the first 10 hours of this game doing the same 3-hit combo into art. Because you don't get any of the fun tools until later on. And don't get me wrong, Tales of Symphonia is, like, still a fun time. But I'm just saying, if I was gonna play a Tales game on the internet, it wouldn't be Symphonia.
Which ones would you play? Is it just like modern ones,
play
or
Arise? Because I haven't played that one yet. Okay, where video game? I got the stone tablet, and it won't let me go back because Rachel does not have the agility of Ryu Hayabusa. Which makes her way less fun to play. This is not Sonic the Hedgehog. It says right here, got a ninja fast. Please, let's not talk about Sonic fans. This is a nice family stream. And people over here being like, what if we talked about Sonic fans and their weird preferences?
are you gonna keep playing Unleashed?
For the Wii, yes. I paid money for it. For the sole purpose of hashtag content. This is my curse now. If I soft locked myself, okay. Time to look it up.
About to say, is there a guide on the internet you could?
Is there a
consult?
GameFAQs?
Yeah.
Why, yes, there is. Oh, cool. If I do the big fight on the open bridge. Oh, okay. There's a pedestal. I'm not seeing like a doofus. Let's see. Oh. That hell game kept crashing for Chris while he was in hell because he keeps playing it. Maybe the real hell, a Cyberpunk adventure, was the choice to play that video game. Oh, Jesus. That's a dinosaur. Alright, it's time for... I do like ASCII art. I think it's... Oh no! It's these two guys. Oh boy, that's... It's the super hard optional bosses in the wave survival mode that they just summon you in front of and say, go for it, and boy. Boy.
Is this a supposed to lose fight?
Yeah, looks like it is. Because we couldn't have Rachel actually doing anything.
I think I was trying to ask this last night. Do any of the female characters in these games do anything?
Ayane has some chapters in 3 where she does things. Otherwise,
Glad
no.
to see they matured. Glad to see they matured slightly.
Alright, yeah, now we have the Katetsu. Which is a fun little sword that, if I remember correctly, you throw like a boomerang.
You guys ever do ASCII art? There's somebody out there somewhere still doing ASCII art.
And God bless him for it. Even GameFAQs has HTML support now for guides. Ah! Fuck you, iframes. wonder how many there are.
Oh,
And yes,
monsters.
this is entirely optional. But there's probably a health increase or a key increase at the end. Whereas I looked up what you get for doing these things in Rachel's game, in Rachel's levels. You know what she gets?
What?
New hairstyle.
What did she get? I
She
didn't
gets
hear
new
you.
hairstyles.
Oh, cool. Aesthetic, always important.
For my weird blow-up doll.
Hello, Chris.
I got bad news.
What?
What's your bad news?
You
Oh,
can't finish Hell, a Cyberpunk adventure.
Talking about how you're gonna murder me. And that Justin guy, he could be talking shit too. Okay, now
I
got
talk
my head-
shit to your face.
You talk shit to my face. Alright, so we got a classic CRPG problem with that game, okay? So, but I fixed it, apparently, in true old school CRPG fashion.
Adventure
Game-
game fashion.
The game is programmed to play some cinematics and cutscenes after you complete a certain number of missions. If those cutscenes do not play within a certain amount of time, and they didn't during my playthrough, basically the game will eventually just kill
Crash.
itself and say, fuck.
Is it like
I'm
how the
supposed to-"
GOG version of Konung just straight up crashes when the soundtrack ends?
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite dumb things about that game.
Hey, remember when buying games on GOG meant that the game would not break? Or be broken? Remember when they promised that?
I do not want to die. Because then I will have to fight all these doofuses again.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up Braden Arbitrary Water.
I jinxed myself.
Oh, you were doing well until you weren't?
Also, there's nothing wrong with that Sonic Boom cartoon. It's totally fine. Oh, cool!
924.
Oh! Wonderful.
Hey, you get to play as Rachel some more?
Sure do. Electric
Awesome.
Boogaloo.
I'm watching the ending of Below Zero, and then I'll not play any more Subnautica for a long time, and then play, and then probably go to bed.
There's a DKC 3 race happening right now on GDQ.
I never liked 3 as much as 1 and 2.
I mean, that's not
Especially
a
2.
state.
Don't let Ralkin hear you say that.
A DKC 3 is fine. It's good. But it's not 2.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a huge Donkey Kong Country fan.
Yeah, because you hate fun and platforming. You're like,
I
I can't
just
control it with a mouse.
They feel,
No.
they do feel, those games feel a lot different than
They feel a lot.
Mario.
And I feel like there's an aspect of Donkey Kong Country that is not nearly as timeless. They're fine.
Anyway, here's
I
my
wouldn't
speed
say-
game strat of just run past everything because fuck you, video game.
I would tell you the DKC 2 is the best platformer on the Super Nintendo. You probably disagree.
I don't.
I'm a vanilla ass. It's a world. Probably.
Okay.
I'm a big Lester the Unlikely stan.
Wait, you gotta do the exact same thing again as Rachel?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No, I just died.
Anyway, the ending shot of Below Zero is fantastic. If you're ever gonna play that game, Chris, it's very good.
Yeah, I'll play it someday.
Anyway, I know Chris has already beat it. First one, that is. Anyway, different topic. If
Could I say that my favorite? I mean, I'm not a huge Castlevania guy, but Castlevania 4.
Yeah, sure.
that's good. As someone who came to the
As long as
2D,
we
like
can
the
all
old
agree
school.
that it's not the Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, Castlevania 4, I wouldn't really count it as a platformer either. But like that Dracula X game on Super Nintendo, it gets the community, Castlevania community really does not like it. But I came to that game pretty late in the grand scheme of Castlevania things. I really liked that one.
ActRaiser, yeah. I think I just like the music of ActRaiser because it's the most Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack. That fucking soundtrack goes to 11 within the first opening credits track.
Yeah, ActRaiser. As a video game, I am less enthused with ActRaiser than I am with ActRaiser as a concept.
Did you know that the PlayStation 1 port of Zork 1 has a Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack?
That sounds great. No notes.
He did it with Motohiro Kawashima, who is best known as being the man who created the music for Streets of Rage 2 and Streets of Rage 3. Two of the greatest Genesis soundtracks ever fucking made.
Yeah?
And it's like, I want to know, while you are playing the PlayStation 1 port of Zork 1, The Great Underground Empire, like, what did two of the greatest 16-bit musicians, like, musical composers do for Zork? Like, what are you doing while you're getting eaten by Grooze? Like, if you have the Streets of Rage 2 guy and Yuzu fucking motherfucking Koshiro, like, what did you do?
Yuzo Koshiro is the Streets of Rage 2 guy.
No, but the other guy who helped him.
Oh, the other guy. Okay. Yuzo Koshiro.
Motohiro Kawashima apparently was the one who did most of, although Yuzo Koshiro got a co-credit, the one who did the Mega Drive CD version of Eye of the Beholder.
Yeah!
Which is also a very awkward and out-of-place soundtrack for a game that
yeah,
is...
it
like,
is.
I wonder if it's like that Eye of the Beholder Sega CD, or yeah, it was a Mega Drive CD port of Eye of the Beholder, where it's just this over-top, thumpy, just goddamn fucking.
You do realize
good
that
music.
some of my pre-stream music is the Eye of the Beholder soundtrack for Sega
I know,
CD.
I know.
It's so good.
It's so good,
It's
but
fucking
it does not
club
work for
music.
that game. It doesn't work for that game at all. It's just like, why? This is a blobber, and I'm just fucking listening to this music. Oh, now I'm dead because I just stopped playing the game. Like, that's what I'm hoping. If I can find this PlayStation 1 Zork game. Like, you're just, like, going through this text parser, and it's just fucking Yuzo Koshiro fucking ripping it.
Yeah. Similarly, the Turbo CD version of Might and Magic 3 Isles of Terra has an absolute buck wild, just unfitting soundtrack.
Takehiro Kawabe. That sounds familiar. He did. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, he did the Arc the Lad stuff. Cool.
Kids love Arc the Lad.
He did a... Oh, that's how I know him. He did the music for Armored Core. Okay, now this is making sense. Oh, and he did the fucking music for Kingsfield. That makes sense. Guy who did Armored Core and fucking Kingsfield did some fantasy stuff that was shockingly out of place. Okay. Okay. Anyways. So yeah, apparently the reason why the game was breaking is because it was supposed to be playing cutscenes, but it was like, I don't feel like it. I'm gonna die. Which, you know, that happens. Animal Crossing could use some Yuzo Koshiro. Remember when the first GameCube, well, I mean, Animal Crossing was a long-standing series prior to the GameCube
It was
version that
not.
came to. But
It was an
there was one
N64 game that came out in
It was one
2001.
N64 game. But, remember that first GameCube game having those NES games?
Yeah.
And they were all pretty decently emulated NES games. You could technically find a way to put... I just want to imagine a world where you're like playing Streets of Rage in the world of Animal Crossing.
ROM
Not fucking
hackers will
balloon
find a
pop.
way.
Not fucking Balloon Pop. That's something that they're just never going to do ever again because
No,
of, like, completely
because
undermine
now there's
Virtual
Nintendo
Console.
Switch Online, and you will get 2 SNES games a year, one of which will be
I've
worth
always
a damn.
said, like, the compromise there is, like, let me play the games in Animal Crossing if I have purchased them. Like, I'm even okay with you forcing me to, like, go through Crazy Red all over again. But if I have it on my hard drive, like, the game can be able to detect it and say, ah, yes, you can now play it within Animal Crossing. But of course, that would require work, and they're not going to put in work, because look at how the most recent Animal Crossing went, where they released the game, everybody loved it, it's because of the pandemic, and then everyone's like, so you're going to support this with extra DLC? And then Nintendo's like,
No, we're gonna
No.
do one DLC.
we do
and
one.
That's the end.
Bye. It's like, oh, fuck. Such a bizarre choice, because, like, I don't know how Nintendo doesn't look at how much money they made on Smash DLC and not say to themselves, fucking Animal Crossing, this is how we do it.
I just assume it's different people at different departments. And one person's like, what is this computer stuff? This internet, I don't trust it. They're all pirates. I send
yeah,
all of my stuff through fax, like a real businessman.
Apparently, like, a Famitsu fan translation of Famitsu basically interviewed Miyamoto, and he's like, yeah, I don't do anything in the company anymore. I'm doing this movie thing.
Yeah.
On no uncertain terms, saying, I'm basically retired. I'm doing what I love, Mario. I have to make the fucking programming.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on... Yeah,
I mean,
it doesn't
yeah.
surprise me that he's been doing oversight on the movie, mostly.
I mean, dude is, like, in his 60s,
Yeah.
been fucking busting
But
his
also,
ass
he's
for
going
that
to work until he dies in his chair.
I mean, we
Yeah.
talked about how, like, Sid Meier wrote that book and was like, yeah, I'm gonna retire by... But retired in the most, like, Sid Meier way of, like, not announcing it.
Sometimes I still do go into the office to code.
Yeah, like, that's the weird thing, is, like, sometimes it's, like, apparently the XCOM team from Marvel was like, we had a problem, we called Sid Meier, he came in and fixed the problem in, like, 2 hours. That's just the coolest shit.
I mean, yes, we all... Remember when they did Sid Meier's Sid Golf on Giant Bomb and got Sid Meier on the phone?
He's such a cool dude.
I wish Sid Meier was my civilization.
Still a bummer that game probably will never get remastered or anything.
Yeah.
Kind of as he explained, he's like, yeah, I made the game, Will Wright's got the rights. You're gonna have to talk to him.
And also, EA published the whole thing. Also, Will Wright, I believe, got way into crypto.
It was that, and it turns out like someone found out that his political contributions are overwhelmingly Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got super into crypto. But remember, his thing was like, oh, I just like working with blockchain. They're just using my technology for NFTs. I don't actually buy or sell them. It's like, motherfuckers, like the gas for the gas chambers was originally a pesticide.
Listen, he's like, I made SimCity, and then I made Spore, and we don't talk about Spore.
Yeah, Will Wright stated that the use of his blockchain was being used for NFTs and other mechanisms needed to support the vision he has, but he personally has no interest in selling NFTs directly to players, as other blockchain games or NFT schemes have done so in the past.
Oh, here's the other funny part, is, I wonder how Richard Garriott's fucking blockchain MMO libertarian hellscape What If Ultima Online, but worse. There we go.
Okay. Oh, boy. I click Richard Garriott's Twitter, and it's... Okay. It's a video related to the House vote. Where did he stand with the House vote? Oh, he's just...
No, I'm sure Richard Garriott is probably... I mean, on the other hand, Richard Garriott is also like, yeah,
No,
these Russians, they helped me go to space. The only thing I care about in this life, going to space.
Oh, okay, you know what? This makes sense. So Richard Garriott is retweeting the Lincoln Project and Mark Cuban, which I feel... So he's that kind of...
He's that kind of... Oh, you know,
Democrat.
I own a castle in Texas.
Him being a fan of the Lincoln Project makes a lot of goddamn sense.
Oh, yeah. You know...
But he sure is replying to a lot of these Elon Musk tweets with, how's it feel to lose money? How's it feel to lose that much value? Okay, so not... Let's say your fave is problematic when it comes to Richard Garriott at this point.
Hey. That does not surprise me at all.
But not the worst.
No, he's your Republican uncle dad who's super rich and will always vote for Republicans because he wants to remain
But
rich.
apparently not a Trump supporter. So let's look it up. Let's see Iron and Magic game NFT. Where are we at? It's an MMORPG.
Yes.
Okay, so let's check out the Twitter for this game. The last tweet from this account was September 16th, 2022. And prior to their very, very rough concept art, they held a poll. Which do you personally want us to prioritize when making this MMORPG? PvE or PvP?
What one? Was it PvP?
It was PvE.
Okay.
But it was only 1,348 votes. Oh, look at them bragging about this land texture that they made for the game that does not at all look like it's fucking the most generic ass. This is incredible.
You think maybe Richard Garriott just didn't care?
Oh,
About
he
the
doesn't.
game.
Richard Garriott, look, Richard Garriott fucking was like making games in his garage for like
No, no.
decades.
I mean,
And then
this
when he
game-
got a chance to make money, he took it.
I mean, apparently his experience with EA and Ultima in the later years of that
Oh, yeah,
franchise was not so
EA,
good.
and then also all of his experience with NCSoft and all of the butting of heads against their Korean MMO division. Tabula Rasa. It's not a great breakup from what I hear.
I'm saying the man has not, let's say, cared about games passionately in
Well,
about
it's kinda-
20
yeah.
years. And I don't
you
feel like
played
that's
any
a
Ultima
particularly
game?
controversial statement.
So Lionheart has posted, have you played any Ultima games? Didn't y'all play one of the
We
Ultima
played
games?
4.
We played
That was
4.
literally our first episode for the podcast.
It's a little hard going back to that one because of the audio quality, but you know.
Yeah. Ultima, if I was going to play 1, I'd play 7. And then, of course, you know, I streamed Ultima 9 because I'm that person.
Yeah, it's probably 7. I mean, but how far back would you be willing to go? Probably 6, 5,
7.
5. You don't want to go to 5 or 6?
5 is the same engine as 4. 6, I find 6's engine
Just as incomprehensible
Ju-
and unusable.
slightly, like, yeah.
The whole fucking, like, circles around the body system, I
Yeah.
fucking hate it.
Like, Ultima 4, Quest of the Avatar is super fucking important. And maybe, you know...
I hear the SNES port of Ultima the False Prophet is okay.
But also, it's censored because Nintendo.
Anyways, yeah, if we're gonna play a genuine, it's probably 7.
But also,
play-
Ultima
I'll-
9 is,
I'll play 8. I'll play 8 for the bad platforming sections. They make a joke about the platforming in 9.
Doesn't 9 also have some jumping stuff?
Yeah,
yeah, it does.
that's why it's a bad joke.
I'll
The best
just
part
say,
of 9 has always been going into that starting castle and having the game use a wall to teach you about the lore of Ultima.
Yep.
It's actually really well done. It's actually an incredibly well done part of the game.
Yeah,
Is that game like?
a
Would you?
disaster.
Yes, I know it's kind of a disaster, but like, it's also sort of a pretty early example of a wide open 3D RPG.
Yes. It is, it is
I know that
incredibly
shows-
ambitious.
But, like, I don't know. Would you say there's anything to respect in that
Yeah.
and how they pulled it off? Although,
Oh, yeah.
did anybody actually do it really well
I've always
for Morrowind?
I've always said that CRPGs always really liked platforming the way that JRPGs like minigames.
Imagine being
you've
the
never-
person at Square Enix whose job for the entire development period of Final Fantasy VII was the snowboarding game.
Remember, they re-released that minigame alone on your Nokia
On your
phone
on
for
your on your mobile
$10.
device.
Which, yeah, I guess if you want to play the worst part of Final Fantasy VII, nah, it's the Temple of the Ancients. What am I talking about? Fucking all those MC Escher levels. I think I've never seen a Wizardry. See, that's the weird thing, is like, of all of them, Surtech and Wizardry, like, Surtech went bankrupt after 8, but like, Wizardry is the only, if you completely forget about the Japanese games, Wizardry ended on its own terms, and it's maybe
Yeah,
the
they
only
literally
classic.
had to move their business operations to Canada in like this because what happened was the creator of Wizardry 1 through 4, I think, like was like, hey, y'all didn't pay me. And after a protracted legal battle that Surtec lost, they were like, well, we're moving to
Exploiting
Canada.
our workers was how the only way we stayed on business.
CRPG companies go bankrupt around 2000.
And also, yeah, hey, guess what? Changing market. PC
But
games
yeah,
Wiz-
in the
that
early
That market
said-
changed significantly.
That said, Wizardry 8,
hell of a
Wizardry
game.
franchise, ends on its own terms if you
Yes.
completely disregard all of the weird Japanese games,
Well, yeah,
including
that,
the corny ones.
that's its own thing, because Japanese Wizardry games are just like, hey, you want a traditional-ass dungeon crawler?
With none of the comedy and none of the upbeat tempo stuff.
But as far as the question of CRPG companies going bankrupt, it probably had a lot to do with like video games changed a lot in the late 90s, and the way CRPGs would have needed to change to keep up was not going to be profitable.
Nope.
Except in the
Nope.
case of something like Morrowind. which
Unless
was lucky enough to get a
you
console
were able to
release.
pull, and I know that this is sacrilege, but Ultima pulled it off temporarily when they realized you could get away with old school CRPG design in the form of an MMORPG.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Ultima Online, but that game had a fucking community and was making a shit ton of money for a very brief part until EverQuest and WoW came around.
Hey, it's still, you can still play it.
You can still play it.
Okay. What CRPGs at the time did survive? There's Morrowind.
Okay,
But like there's
BioWare.
Gothic. I mean, Neverwinter Nights was profitable,
Yes.
but again, BioWare became a console developer.
I mean,
Like KOTOR's a CRPG. I mean, you might be able to argue that, but
you
Um,
could say that like the only reason why a lot of those D&D CRPGs lost out of favor was because 4th edition just was such a fucking toxic bomb that it made the D&D community so fucking not wanting to follow new projects at all.
couldn't they have implemented their own rule sets?
Yeah, that's
Like,
why like even like KOTOR came out with 3.5 and like games were coming out with 3.5, which is why I still want to play that 4th edition game, Braden.
Daggerdale? Okay, buy
Yeah.
it for me.
If I buy it for you, will you play it?
You know I will. You know exactly what kind of person
If I buy
am.
you a copy of Nemesis the Wizardry Adventure, would you play it with me?
No. That's your territory. That's
Oh, that
yours.
game's terrible. That game's terrible. That's a bad game.
It's an adventure game though. I thought adventure games are good.
What about the
Yeah,
Wizardry
that's
game
the-
that was made by the Atlas team?
Wizardry of the Forbidden Land or whatever.
No, the Tale of the Forsaken.
What?
What if the Shin Megami Tensei team was given the chance of making a Wizardry game and they didn't know what the
PlayStation 2.
fuck they were doing?
I mean, isn't that essentially just Etrian Odyssey?
Yeah.
That's exactly what they ended up making. Except bad.
Kay's also asking, did anyone besides BioWare make the jump to the Xbox? Bethesda.
Yeah.
Bethesda, definitely.
Um,
I feel like Jeff Gerstmann made this, like, Elder Scrolls 3 is a really, really important game for Bethesda. Like, obviously 4 is the turning point, and then
But
Skyrim
yeah, if
is the biggest thing
Morrowind
ever.
being a console game.
Morrowind was like, and you could even argue that it struck the balance 50-50 far better than 4. But also, like, there were people who learned CRPGs because of 3. Because Morrowind was on the Xbox.
What the hell happened to Etrian Odyssey? Atlas is like, there's not 2 screens on the Switch. What do we do? Help.
They released how many of those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then remakes of 1 and 2.
And
They did
Nexus.
that, they did Nexus, the
and
3DS
the Mystery
game.
Dungeon game.
Well, I'm not talking about like the spin-offs. Primarily.
But yeah, Nexus.
I'm just gonna say, yeah, basically, that franchise hit its peak on the DS, and
I
then-
liked 4 a lot, and then I didn't play any others.
You should
And
play
there were
Nexus.
2 Persona Q games, but I don't like
Oh
those
yeah.
either.
Well, yeah. This is my thought about Persona Q.
I put that in my 3DS a few weeks ago.
What about the
thinking,
Untold spin-offs? Are they better than Persona Q?
Yeah, because
yes.
they're just Etrian Odyssey 1 and 2 with anime story modes.
Oh,
you
okay.
Yeah, that's the one where in the first game one of your characters is just from Canada.
Yeah.
Not like a joke or anything. Like she's explicitly lore-wise from Canada.
Okay. You know what? I'm in. I don't know. Like the Etrian, I feel like I think you could make an Etrian Odyssey game for the Switch.
What?
I mean, yes, you definitely.
It's almost like Atlas is a bad video game developer who makes good video games.
They're just slow is the problem, and then once they make a big title, then they make weird spin-offs for like 8 years. Like, how long did Persona 5 actually make when you consider when they announced it?
They announced
Like,
Persona 5 for the PlayStation 3.
Like, just stop and think about how Atlas just has a very notorious history of not having a filter and not knowing when to stop.
Remember when they made Catherine as a, like, here's us getting used to HD consoles. And then Persona 5 did not come out for another 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
SMT5 and oh, never mind.
Yeah,
misread that.
SMT5 and Tokyo Mirage Sessions were both, like, vaporware, because they just announced their shit too early. That's the other thing. Oh.
But
I remember.
for,
Yeah, and
for
other
whatever it's
than-
worth, though, like Atlas seems to be making a lot of money on niche titles, even if they do run them into the ground. So
You see, that's the thing, is other than the Mega 10 mainline franchise in Persona, and maybe you could argue Devil Summoner, but I think that franchise is like 1 foot in the fucking grave. But, like, they make a game, then they make 3 or 4 games within that franchise, and then they just kind of move on to something different. Like, remember Trauma Center? They made 4 or 5 Trauma Centers within a 5 to 6 year crease. And then they moved on. They stopped making them.
Once again, it's probably just like, I don't know, there's not 2 screens on this thing. How can we...
Like,
Also,
remember,
Trauma Center
what was
never
it?
made the kind of money that Persona does.
Sure. What was that weird fighting franchise they made? Power Instinct. They made, like, 1 for the Super Nintendo, and then they made 1 for PlayStation within a year, and then they made 1 for the Sega Saturn, and then they're like, we don't want to move on to new technology. We're done. Bye. Bye-bye. And then they'll do weird, like, niche stuff like 13 Sentinels.
They published that. No, wait, no. 13 Sentinels is Vanillaware, my dude.
They published it.
Yeah.
They published, they've been publishing Vanillaware stuff for a while.
Yeah. They published Dark Soul or Demon Souls in the
Demon
US.
Souls. Because Sony was like, we don't think that'll make a profit over there.
Well, it's not an
Which
HBO
is
movie.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's
No,
not
I
HBO.
mean, with 13 Sentinels, it was weird because it was published by Atlas in Japan, and then Sega, which is their owner, published it worldwide. They're like, okay, if you're not going to take the time, we'll do it. Fine. Fuck you.
Yep.
Which, yeah, people forget, but, like, Atlas isn't an independent studio.
No, they're owned by
Sega.
Sony.
Sega.
Sega. And
They used to
weird...
be owned by somebody else, didn't they?
Yeah, but now they're owned by Sega, and... You know, all credit to them. When I want to think about mismanagement...
Oh, I see what you're mentioning. They were originally owned by Index.
Yeah.
Index, the anime company.
A certain magical index, am I right, homies?
Hey, if you want to go down the dark path
Absolutely
of,
fucking not.
I mean, we all know that the scientific side of things is way better, but okay.
Yeah, I know people like a certain scientific railgun more.
When are you gonna play Growlancer for the Tactics series?
Do you really want me to play off-brand Fire Emblem?
Then I get to talk to you about how the art for
The art
Growlancer
for Growlancer was done by a
was done by a
popular
hentai guy.
Arrow manga artist. I'm aware.
They made that Langriser remake for
Yep.
1 and 2. That
Sure
apparently
did.
people
that's
like.
That's a Nipponichi joint.
People like that. I understand people are like, oh, the new art's dog shit. It's like, what the fuck did you expect?
It looks like modern anime art. It
It's
wasn't
like
gonna look like
modern
90s stuff.
It wasn't gonna look like the fucking Satoshi Uroshihara stuff because also, I think most people know, like, ah, shit, we can't get the art to look like the shit for the guy who's now making nothing but fucking hardcore pornography.
Yeah, it's fine. And you know, I believe some of those Growlancer games came out in the States thanks to working designs.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've heard
We
the
should-
term Growlancer somewhere, so they must have come out here somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We should do a working designs grab bag episode whenever
Yeah, we should.
That seems like a summer or spring break type of thing.
I remember this part vividly.
Oh yeah, the lava level. You looking forward to the boss here?
I
Everybody
remember
loves
the boss
lava
being
levels.
able. You can choose the boss in this level very easily with the lunar
Hmm.
stack. Fuck you!
About to say, does that rat bite your hand or something?
No, it's the fucking
Oh, no.
steam vent.
Though a lot of SMT and FE references might not make any sense. TMS.
Don't play Tokyo.
no,
don't
you know what?
play
I
Tokyo
think-
Mirage Sessions for those.
I think
references.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I think that switch port's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think Tokyo
played
Mirage
it.
Sessions is a good time.
I need to play more of it.
You're playing Persona 5 Strikers? I'm sorry. The game's real boring.
I mean, it's a Muso game.
I know.
So
You're
that-
actually enjoying it. That's good for you. I'm just saying. Boy, you know what's a story that I think that already went on too long and I didn't need to know the extra details to? Persona 5.
Is there a backlash to that game? Because every time it comes
Oh.
up in this chat, it seems to be like people don't
among
like it.
specific people, namely me,
Too goddamn long. The story needed to know when to stop like at least 5 fucking times prior to where it eventually stops at. And the Memento bullshit is the absolute dirt shit worst shit. It's like, what if we made Tartarus but like only 1 or 2 inches better?
I mean, you could say the same thing about the original game. It ends too many times and so on and so forth. It's too long.
Yeah, it's with age, I feel like that problem with the Persona games is becoming something that I find more and more untenable. Yes, you found it. That is my complaint. Like Persona 4, absolutely, I fucking was okay with that. But I was in college. I'm a man.
Also in college, I don't feel like spending 2 hours in that.
yeah, Persona 5.
I had a-
fuck you.
I had a moment where I had to do a work training, and it took place at a university. And prior to doing this, I was like, oh, I'm kind of nostalgic about going back to college, kind of like Braden. And like, this is like walking through a campus,
Oh yeah, no.
and
It walking through campus is one of those things that makes me go, oh no.
it's just like, man, yeah, all of this shit, like, It's the anti-abortion protesters right next to the pro-abortion protesters in the student union where there's like multiple clubs trying to get me to sign up for shit. And just all of these weird conversations, parasocial interactions that oh, nope, fuck this.
And it's not even like, hey, I had an okay time at college. I was just there too long.
Yeah. Well, I had to go through a residential program, so I was a
Because
5-year student.
you know, I fucked around too much before
I
just
graduated
deciding
with-
I need to graduate history
I
as
was
a thing I like.
I was a cum lord. I graduated as a cum lord.
A cum laude,
Oh.
a cum lordy. Anyway, if you want to talk about cum lords, we can talk
Let's
about
talk about Lang
you and
Rising.
me, you and me and her.
No, I think
Nope.
we've subjected your audience enough to that game already.
But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, at this point with me and Persona, it's just like, now that I see all of the problematic shit, with 4 especially, it's a little harder to go back than it used to be.
Oh, I mean, what is it? Persona 4 Golden finally solving the problem of, like, needing to reroll when you're trying to fuse cards. Oh my fucking god.
I've still never played Golden. The version of Persona 4...
And yeah, Lionheart's right. Like, the Persona series, like, how long are we gonna continue to, like, as people give the Persona series perpetual fucking blank checks to be super problematic about shit? Like, I will say this. The teacher relationship arc in 5 is a fucking problem. And it just
the part where
highlights
you can
that-
date Kawakami is
Yeah,
a
like
problem.
that entire part, the weird therapist stuff where your therapist is like a relationship, and it's like, that's not how therapy's supposed to work. That's also super problematic. But, you know, I mean, the franchise has a problem with... I feel like I'm repeating something that Relkin has said repeatedly, and I super agree with it. It's like, it's really weird that Persona 2 figured out that this shit is way less awkward when the characters are just adults. Or at least college students.
Yep.
I'm not excusing them, but do you think those games would sell as well if they were
No.
not high school
No,
students?
I don't. I think that the part of the appeal is seeing young teenagers interact in a way, because it's a form of escapism for us adults, where that part of our life
As a
has
salary
some,
man, I'm
that
constantly...
part of our life has a part of our nostalgia too. However, it's way less problematic to have that social linking stuff and always the conclusion for heteronormative relationships usually to be romance and fucking when they're at least of age. And I'm not even gonna make a statement about the age of consent, because fucking I don't want to. But
don't
the
wanna-
age of consent in Japan's like,
You don't
fuck,
want to
shut
summon the
fuck up.
wrong people.
I don't want to summon those people. But Alice's whole, like, the end of a relationship with a person is fucking has always been, like, the most amateur hour stuff that it's like BioWare never being able to get away from the blue choice is the good one and the red choice is the bad one. It's like, I don't know if there's ever going to be a solution for that, because players like color-coded shit and they don't want to, like, mull over options and then deal with the consequences.
People don't want emotionally
Because-
complex stories. in their
Fallout
video
4
games.
tried to do that, but it was too basic in its hints in terms of what your dialogue choices were. And I'm not saying that it was perfect, but people complaining like they should just color code. It's like, fuck.
Absolutely not.
Like, I don't know. It's like complaining about the Assassin's Creed franchise having weird ludonarrative stuff where it's like, I tore down 3 posters and now all of the other posters that I needed to bring down my reputation just magically disappear. It's like, video game got a video game.
Oh, this
There's
guy.
no solution.
This guy.
I don't know what the solution is. Oh. This one's not that bad.
Yeah.
He got no legs.
So, there's a part near the end of this game where there is the obligatory endgame boss rush. And as a result, I got very good at fighting some of these bosses.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think this is why I kind of go back to Planescape. The weird, nuanced, weird, esoteric ways you respond to everything in that game. I'm not saying Planescape is perfect.
It's written by
People,
A known sex pest.
a known sex pest, and also the people who there was a time when I beat this drum, but I think that there's just too many games that have come that have done many of its ideas better. But the people who say that Planescape is the greatest CRPG ever, walk away.
it would need to be a good video game first.
I mean, that's always been the boogeyman of the CRPG genre, where it's like the actual act of playing them is glorified
It, like,
D&D
it,
stat sheet stuff.
in a lot of ways, I think Disco Elysium also kind of took that torch in a way that, like, yeah, that game is, like, maybe hyper-political and maybe a little too high on itself sometimes. But it kind of does... It's the better Planescape successor than Numenera.
How much, so, of the canceled video games that Wizards did, I made a joke with Jeff Grubb, and he's like, yeah, you're probably right. I think that one of those games might have been a Planescape project tied to the new Planescape module.
Oh, 100%. Also, Beamdog was working on a Planescape game
Yeah, they seem like the team to
before they
pick
got
for-
embraced.
Yeah. But also, yeah, I bet you one of those canceled projects was like Planescape 2.
Is Beamdog ever going to do anything unrelated to like the Infinity?
Yeah, they're doing that fucking Myth Force game. That looks bad. It's an EGAS early access exclusive.
They did that Axis and Allies games. Myth Force, right?
Yes, it is. It's an EGS exclusive. It is one of them co-op Left 4 Deads. And it doesn't.
But it's cell shaded.
It's cell shaded, and remember the 80s? My favorite thing is when video games tell me, "Hey, remember the 80s?" And I'm like,
looks
"No, I
like
don't.
the,
I wasn't alive."
The Myth Force logo is the Thundercats logo. That tells you everything, right?
I mean, I don't hate the way this looks looking at it.
No.
Right now. It might
And
be
you
okay.
know, it'll probably turn into something. Is Redfall a Left 4 Dead? I don't think it is.
I thought Redfall was a Left 4 Dead.
It's
like,
not,
a
because it
co-op
has
thing.
story. And, like,
Oh,
it's
so did
level
Left 4
based.
Dead.
This is where I would say that Left 4 Dead kind of had story. The weird creative ways
Chicago
that
Ted.
they had, like, yeah, like all the weird graffiti stuff and like having the characters make quips depending on your locations or your acts. Like Left 4 Dead did have a story. It was very minimalist. That's
Yeah, it
why
was-
I think that, like, to a certain degree, Left 4 Dead was kind of like SWAT 4 in its environmental storytelling.
There's also like when you play those levels in order, they are a sequence of events. They're not
Yes.
just
Yeah.
like random things happening. Like it's a story. It's not like a terribly well detailed one, but it's
So,
there.
Braden,
Also, I think part of the reason that game holds up so well is because Valve realized the importance of keeping the story in the background because nobody cares while they're shooting zombies and talking shit with friends.
Also,
So-
Eric Woolpaw.
yeah,
is good at
also where
writing.
Eric Wolpile is good at writing and getting his shit in creative and easy ways. So someone asked me this, and they apparently saw that they apparently like, I watched the archive and you made a reference to Aliens Colonial Marines. and they said at the start of the stream before you joined, Braden, have you and your friends thought about doing a co-op stream of Wolfenstein Youngblood as a charity stream? And then I said, oh, fuck, that's perfect.
What do you mean I bought a copy of Wolfenstein Youngblood for $2?
That's fucking...
That's only 2-player though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, but also that would be fucking perfect.
If we weren't doing the 4-job Fiesta thing, that's what I'd suggest we do for the community endurance run.
I feel like Youngblood is just good enough to not really. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I have played some of it. Like it's.
The late game stuff is a bunch
I
of
did not.
bullet sponges
I
that
didn't
just
get the
take
late
fucking
game.
forever to kill, which has always been, I feel like, the Achilles heel of the modern Wolfenstein games, which is, yeah, the end game sucks because everything takes forever to die.
I mean, at least in the New Order, you good job
The new
finishing that.
Colossus, yeah.
At least in the New Order, the end game you should be using the rocket launchers on the machine guns, like the grenade launcher thing, all the fucking time.
I don't know. I just feel like
But there is a room at the end of the New Order that exemplifies what you're talking about completely. I'd still say that those
all
games
of those
played better
mech
than Youngblood.
suits. And then, like,
Well,
my
the
biggest
first
problem
one.
with, like, Wolfenstein 2, I like Wolfenstein 2, but
The new
there really just comes a
Colossus-
point where it's like, here's this open area, and I bet all of these weird mech suits are gonna come in, huh? Okay.
Hey, here's this incredibly difficult stealth sequence that punishes you greatly if you don't complete it stealthily.
The new Colossus has some serious problems with having too many fucking stealth sequences.
And here's these new mechanics.
I
Because it moves, it wants to be like a fast, move quickly shooter. But
it wants to be too many things.
Which is why I thought it was really weird that Youngblood was as bad as it was, because Arcane made the stealth sequences in Youngblood, and Arcane should know how to do a good stealth sequence.
I mean, you don't have a million different tools in Youngblood to use in your
Yeah, I
stealth
know.
sequences. I'm always conflicted about the new Colossus because I do like that game, but like, as if it
act
were
of
just a
playing.
stand-up, the act of playing it's fun, most of the time, but like, as a standalone thing, a New Order is pretty much perfect. Like the way that game ends
Yes.
is for me so perfect. And for them to dig that corpse up and do more with it just cheapens everything about the end of that game.
It has
I don't
plenty
know.
of sequel hook room.
I felt there was definitely a sequel hook around.
I think they do some good stuff with it. Like there's some cutscenes in the new Colossus that are probably some of the best made cutscenes in any video
Just
game ever.
The most fucking
But-
bananas video game.
It's not even the fucking banana stuff. Like
Remember
when, the
when
game,
you go to Venus?
But when that game decides to be like
Yeah.
genuinely serious, like when he's at the top of that tower and talking to
Or remember
Grace.
the Hitler scene in 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the fucking Hitler scene in 2? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the part in Venus.
But that's so good.
Also, it's nice to see a AAA game unabashedly political.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck you, Nazis! There.
yeah, fuck. I don't know, I thought that the one thing I will say, I thought that Horton Boone was really done poorly. Oh, hey, the communist. Let's just mention he's a communist. Let's just make him the most milquetoast guy possible.
I mean, by that point in the game, they also don't have much left. That's actually shockingly close to the end
Yeah,
of the game.
yeah, I do remember when BJ Blazkowicz's head gets cut off in first person in front of me. What a...
Somebody, I don't know if it was one of y'all, but somebody described the new Colossus as a game of great moments strung together by nothing in particular.
Yep.
Well, no, it's strung together, and it really comes together at the end with that wonderful rendition of "We're Not Gonna Take It" at the very fucking end
How
of the
did
credits.
I guess you were going to bring that up?
But yeah, some part of me still wishes the New Order and the Old Blood was all that came of that Wolfenstein reboot.
That song is up there with the the Alien game for DS ending with the Alien song. That was Way Forward, right?
Yeah. All right. Now let me show you some premium quality dairy product if this is the fight I'm thinking of.
YouTube Alien Way Forward credits song.
I introduced Joku to that, and he reacted about as one would expect.
Why is this? This is stupid.
This is amazing. This is terrible.
Oh man, I played all of Third Birthday and I didn't like it.
Weird.
I kept playing it.
You are not allowed to give anyone shit for playing a terrible video game.
Shut up.
I mean, neither of you are.
I am.
Where's the cheese coming in? Because he seems to be treating you like cheese.
Got some holes in there, Mr. Swift.
Okay.
Is this the fight you were thinking of?
Maybe. Oh, we gotta go up to the upper level first.
Getting some Dongo vibes here. You fell in the lava, that seems bad.
Shut the fuck up.
Have you considered playing this game with a mouse and keyboard setup?
I'm sorry, the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection does not have mouse and keyboard support.
Ah, darn.
I
I'll
know.
never play it.
Yeah, it's a shame. What would we do without... how would you do without... Yeah, but that part in Wolfenstein where you finally confront your shitty Nazi-loving dad...
Yeah.
And everything that happens after that is so off-the-wall crazy that...
Yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing. Like, even postscript 4, the 3 team meets up with 4 canonically.
In
and
Arena.
It's very much clear that, hey, you're a part of a network now where we're all fighting evil demons that are trying to fuck up humans. And it's like, how's this shit not, like, well known? Like, how are we also, not like, hey, evil fucking spirit from Japan doing some stuff in this high school, set the A team over there. Also, I just, there's a part of me that finds it really fucking funny that Atlas still refuses to address all of the shit they did for the answer for Persona 3.
Oh yeah, as far as, I bet the answer is probably barely considered canon at this point.
I mean,
we don't talk
fucking
about the
Margaret
answer.
or What's-Her-Bucket is still on a journey to, like, not
Elizabeth.
make Protag-kun a stone statue stuck in purgatory. Which, oh, god damn it. Persona 3 Portable doesn't have that shit, right?
It does not have
The answer is not in portable mode.
Okay,
And it's,
so
if they're
the
the
new generation does not need to be disappointing.
yeah, I would
Yes,
say
he's
that
dead.
base
He's
game
fucking
does.
dead.
Yeah, it makes it like they don't scream it out in your face, but it makes it clear that he's not in
Yeah.
a good state.
Yeah.
If
the
you're
answer.
a lady, you can date Shinjiro.
You could also date Ken Amato, which is a goddamn problem.
Really? But
It still cuts to black when you reach the final part of his relationship, heavily implying You
Yeah,
do
give him a
something with
kissy.
Kanemata, which also, even if it's just a kiss, super problematic that you're fucking.
That kid's 10.
He's 8. He's an elementary school student. Yes, can you
Yes.
give direct controls to...
If they're doing the Persona 3 Portable, you can directly
Portable.
control your characters.
Yeah. FES, you still
You
it was
probably-
horrible that they changed that shit.
You probably still have to go into the menu and
They'll do.
change it. There is when we found out that Persona 3 Portable was the one being ported to Xbox and PC and stuff. Some people in the forums were mentioning that there is a mod for Persona 3 Fez that will allow you to control the rest of your party, and I would probably do that if I were going to replay Persona 3.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with Mirren Kirin just fucking you up.
I'm
I'm fucking dying. This is the Nyx battle.
Mitsuru, no!
My problem in the Nyx battle was not Mitsuru. It was what was her name?
Yukari getting
Yukari.
mind controlled and then full
And
healing
then
the boss.
full healing. Yes, all 13 health bars. That happened to me.
That
I
happened
had
to me.
that. I had that boss like halfway down. It was like an hour and a half into that
And then
fight,
you pop the wrong
and
elemental spell and fucking undoes all of your work. Yeah, I know.
no, she cast Dia Rahan on the boss.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
I don't think so. In Persona 3 Fez, I don't think the AI stuff. Actually, let me roll it back a bit. For Yukari, you can actually get a ring that prevents her from being charmed, and it is necessary for taking her into that boss fight.
Yeah.
If you do that, she's good. I don't have as much of a problem with the AI in. I don't have as much of a problem with the AI in battles in Persona 3 Portable or Persona 3 Fez as I did with the stuff in in the first Devil Summoner on DS, 3DS, Soul Hackers. Those demons you get, they don't always do what you want them to. Like if you have a fire-based demon who somehow has Bufu or something, and you tell him, "Hey, cast Bufu," could be like, "I don't feel like it," and then just not do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great when we play that for the podcast, and that's the thing we all complain about for 3 hours.
Do y'all really have that lined up?
What if I told you I have been threatening Devil Summoner or Soul Hackers, rather?
I would be okay with Soul. That's right. You don't like Strange Journey.
I have Strange Journey's fine, but
Strange
also
Journey's
both of you have
good.
played Strange Journey already, so why would we cover it?
Because it's a good game. It's like,
Have
what
you,
if...
have you, have you played SMT4 Apocalypse?
Only briefly.
Well, I own every single Atlas game on the DS now, on the 3DS.
Well, you should play SMT4 Apocalypse. It's probably the better of those two games.
Yeah, but what kind of normies are we if we played the newest one?
It's not the newest one. 5 is the newest one.
Yeah,
Soul
5 is
Hackers
ours.
2 is the newest one.
Or
Yeah,
Soul
we don't
Hackers
talk
2,
about Soul Hackers 2.
It's
Is
fine.
Is it problematic or
No.
what?
No, it's just a very average, like... It was very funny to see the people who highly reviewed Persona 5 say, "Oh, this game's fine, but there's no story, there's no
You can't
anime
hang out
game."
with your
It's like,
homies. And it's like, okay, Michael Hyam, man with Persona 5 tattoo.
he's the one where I thought of, like, this post Persona 5 world sucks. Him and Temu are like, yeah, this game's just kind of like mid. And it's like, fuck, why? You want to look at anime girls and muck about with them and like kiss them and like hold their hands? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Atlas RPGs. My problem with Atlas RPGs is like they're always innately dungeon crawlers, but the dungeon crawly part of Atlas games is always the worst part.
Depends on which one. I mean, you know, Etrian Odyssey is really good. But if you're speaking specifically about Shin Megami Tensei, like, main series Shin Megami Tensei is like, hey, motherfucker, you'll like teleport mazes?
What if we played Persona 1 and did the first-person dungeon crawl?
Absolutely not! Persona 1's not even a good one of those.
It isn't. And Relkin's not in chat, so you can't scream in our ear about Persona 2.
We've already talked about doing Persona 2. Because now that the Eternal Punishment fan translation is done.
Justin and I were promised cheese tactics, and we have not gotten it.
Well, the dragon's almost dead, so.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know.
I think main series Shin Megami Tensei is fine.
It's okay.
I don't
It's a
love any
perfectly
of those
fine
games besides Nocturne. Do love Nocturne.
And
though.
Nocturne is a game that will kick the living shit out of you.
Yeah, Nocturne's a motherfucker.
Nocturne will fucking fuck your day up if you don't know what you are doing.
Nocturne will show up at your house and
Slash
break
your
your
tires
teeth.
and then kill your dog.
Nocturne is here to say, y'all want a Bufu? Well, fuck you. Oh yeah, I didn't get Nocturne HD because I hear that's not even... I hear some of the choices they make with that aren't great.
Seems like what choices?
Yay. I got a Chivo. Oh, cool. This is where we fight Awakened Rachel. Or Awakened Alma. Alright, I'm gonna call it here.
Yeah, it's Sunday and we all have stuff to do tomorrow.
I mean, I don't. But I will
It's
at some
11.
point.
It's 11 o'clock for me.
So I'm gonna... Let's see, what's GDQ doing right now? They are still... Oh, they're doing Ground Zeroes. Sure. Oh, yeah. Follower or subscriber only chat. But, yeah, okay, they just finished Ground Zeroes. So I think... Anyway, have a good one, everyone. Gonna try to finish this week. Bye.
Great.
I'm gonna try and finish
Hell.
I need
Hell.
to. Well, I'm not going to stream it, but I